So let me go ahead and open up the first of these. Now, I don't know the facts surrounding this event. So all I know is that it involves a suspect, a tall suspect, and a short, chubby cop. It would be better if our police officers did not look like this. But I know a number of police officers who have this physique, and they're great guys, well-intentioned, serving their community, taking these kinds of risks. I wish they would be more fit. Also, this cop's tactics and gun handling in general are pretty poor. But let's go ahead and step. So this man here on the right with the taller man has a large stick. It looks like it's 5 or 6 feet long. He's striking at the officer with it. The stick does break. So the wood may have been rotten or defective in some way. But of course, there's no way you would know that when the blow's coming at you. The cop has him at gunpoint. So this taller man is advancing into the muzzle of the officer's gun. You'll note the officer has his gun in one hand. That's extremely imprudent, especially at this distance. If any of you carry a gun for personal protection or even have a gun in the home, especially a handgun, and you've never taken a weapons retention course, I urge you to take one. Even if you don't think it'll ever happen to you, if only so it informs you on how easy it is to strip a handgun from a wielder. It's shockingly easy to take a gun off somebody, especially if they have it in just one hand. So this officer is facing this guy. Let's go ahead and play the clip and run right through it. Here we go.
Man, shoot his ass! Shoot his ass!
Sorry, I forgot to mention we have the shoot his ass guy in the car who's taking this video. My apologies. There's bad language as well. Start it over. I'm going to start it from the beginning.
Man, shoot his ass! Shoot his ass! Damn!
Okay, so we have the man advancing with the stick. He strikes with the stick. The stick breaks against the cop's arm. The cop still isn't shooting. The stick comes back up. It's brought down again. Man is still advancing. And about this point, the cop decides, all right, I'm going to shoot this guy. A couple lessons here. One is, could either one of those blows with that stick have completely disabled that officer? Broken his arm, broken his head, knocked him unconscious. Is this a deadly force attack by this aggressor? An imminent deadly force attack by this aggressor? Absolutely. If he disables the officer and seizes the officer's pistol, is he now even a greater threat, not just to that officer, but other people around? And we know there's other people around because there's a man recording this on his camera. A good distance from that red light in the background, so there's likely a line of cars, all full of innocent people. This lunatic with the stick could disable this officer, take his gun, and be a threat not just to the officer, although certainly to him, but also to everybody else. What kind of lunatic is advancing with a stick into the muzzle, the drawn pistol of a police officer like this? This is obviously not a rational person whose reason is going to constrain them from using deadly force. They're using deadly force, force readily capable of causing death or serious bodily injury against this officer right now. By the way, who comes to the officer's help? Nobody. Nobody. Not even the dude in the car advocating the officer shoot his ass is getting out of his car to help the cop. Now, given the nature of the attack by the man with the stick, could 3 or 4 people neutralize that attack? Sure, easily. He's not going to beat them all off with a stick. But here's the lesson here, folks. No one's coming to save you. And if you're a cop, no one's coming to save you. If you're a civilian, no one is coming to save you. Hey, if that happens, bonus. But we've all seen the videos now. People on subways, people being attacked. No one comes to save them. Why? because we've all also seen the videos where people do intervene and they end up dead or maimed or prosecuted. So our society has created an environment in which intervening in other people's fights is so strongly discouraged, you simply cannot expect any help. So this cop, I would argue, could be using deadly force the moment that man starts closing on him with that stick. This is an imminent deadly force threat already. And he's not, he's waiting. He's waiting so long that he actually gets struck hard enough that the stick breaks. Are you required to wait until you're struck before you can defend yourself? No. You're privileged to defend yourself against the imminent threat, the threat that's immediately about to occur. When this stick is raised like this, is this cop facing an imminent deadly force threat? Yes. Absolutely. He still doesn't shoot. Could he be shooting here in self-defense? Yes. Should he be? Well, what's the risk of not? The risk is getting killed or maimed with this stick. And it's not just one blow. There's another blow, I presume. It's off camera, but the stick is coming up again. The man is still advancing. And it's only now that the officers start shooting. By the way, how many shots does he fire before this aggressor goes down? Let's play that part again so you can count them with me. And then at the end, I'll tell you how many I counted. Ready? Here we go.
Shoot his ass! Damn!
And only then does the suspect go down. Now, at this range, almost contact distance, I presume the officer's not missing. Right? He's got a nice big blue circle there. I presume he's getting center mass hits on this guy. I count 12 shots. 12 shots. Presumably 9mm ammo into this guy's chest at contact distance. And you would never know this guy was being shot until the very end, when he finally falls over. 12 rounds. Now, if you shot someone with 12 rounds, you think a prosecutor might argue that that was too many? Why would you ever need 12 rounds to stop someone? We all see in the movies, a person gets shot once and they go flying backwards across the room. Can one shot kill? They'll ask the medical examiner. Oh, absolutely. So why would you need 12 shots? Could all of those have been fatal shots? Meaning that if the cop had shot once, eventually this aggressor would have died? Maybe. Right? If they're all into the pump, they're all around the heart, the pulmonary arteries, the aorta, all of those would be fatal. There's no recovery from that. But you're not dead right away, are you? You're still capable of aggressive action. What if this aggressor had a knife or had a gun of his own? Could he be returning fire during the time it took that officer to fire 12 rounds to his chest? Sure. So one of the dangers of waiting is that your defensive force is unlikely to be instantaneously effective, even if your defensive force is a pistol being fired at point blank range into the aggressor's chest. It could take 12 rounds, a couple seconds, 3 seconds, long enough for that person to kill you. So maybe you can't wait until the last extremity to begin your use of defensive force, because it takes time for your defensive force to have the desired neutralizing effect. And you cannot predict that ahead of time. You've now seen a video where a deadly force aggressor advancing on a cop had to take 12 rounds to the chest before he was effectively neutralized and no longer a threat. In hindsight, should this officer have been firing sooner? I would think so. Look at him. He doesn't look at all disabled here. And only now you see his legs start to go. He's losing blood pressure, maybe pain. If he had a knife at this point, could he still be swinging it? Could he still be striking with that stick? And of course, you don't know. You can't tell, can you? You can't tell if you're hitting. I mean, there's no, it's not like shooting at one of these, the paper targets where the bullet impact changes color. You don't really know. I mean, you'd like to think you're not missing at this distance. But what if the distance were a little further, 10 feet, 15 feet? You don't actually know where your bullets are striking, what effect they're having, what drugs this person is on, what mental disorders they're suffering under, what psychoses, how able they are to fight through that deadly force that you're deploying. Only then, the very end. And by the way, the cop stopped shooting, and I can't help but wonder if he stopped shooting because the gun just ran dry. That was it. That was his maximum use of force available to him.